This upcoming golf trip to Wisconsin could easily be the greatest golf trip I've ever been on. So far. Welcome back to another episode of Knock Stiff Golf. I'm Kyle. I'm just a fellow golf addict that happens to live in Anchorage, Alaska. When I'm not out on the course playing golf, you're going to find me right here talking about it. So the countdown for the trip is at just a few hours now. We're headed to Milwaukee, Wisconsin to start the golf trip with 7 other guys, and I think it's going to be one of the best trips I've ever been on, like I said. A lot of people have asked me, why Milwaukee? Why Wisconsin for golf? That doesn't really correlate. Why don't you go to California, Florida, Arizona, all these places that are pretty standard for golf trips? Well, the scenario is one of my buddies is living in Milwaukee right now for a short period of time. So we talked about where are some courses that we can knock off our bucket list that happen to be in Wisconsin. Since we don't have any other reason to go back there besides golf, it just makes it easier that a few people that are going on the trip actually live there. So that's kind of how this whole trip got started. It happened that Caleb is living in Wisconsin. We started throwing around the idea with his brother Josh, and it's one place we haven't played golf in, and we said, hey, let's knock off a few of the bucket list courses that are there, and I'll get to that in a second, which ones those are. So funny enough, we started putting out the feelers for people to go on this trip to Wisconsin, and I started talking about it on social media, and that's where I ended up meeting a couple more people that were interested. So I'm gonna get to that when we start talking about who's all going, but let's first get to the courses that we are gonna be playing. So first off, we land Wednesday night. We stay the night, and the next morning we're playing a course that you may have heard of called Erin Hills. They just hosted the US Open in 2017, where Brooks Koepka won his first of 2 US Opens so far in a row. It's a course that's going to be challenging. Really looking forward to playing it. As you can see, there's plenty of content online to kind of give you an overview of that course. Then the next day, we're going to a little place called Lawsonia. Now, Fried Eggs has covered this quite a bit, and even Eric Ondersling went there and I believe played it with him, and I'm going to roll some footage of those videos right now. So we're doing 36 here at Lawsonia. So a couple of the guys that are going on the trip have already played here, and it's really hard to beat this bargain. It's somewhere around $60 with a cart, and we're going to play 36 there, and I guess the wind can get pretty hectic out there, but really looking forward to getting out on that track, which has come highly suggested from everybody that plays golf in Wisconsin. And then we come to kind of the pinnacle of the trip, is that night we end up driving to Sand Valley. Now this place has become rather popular as of recently because it is newer, but the architects for 2 of the courses are Core and Crenshaw, and those names may be familiar in the architect world, but also have ties to Bannon Dunes, which I played last year. Not to mention that, but David McClay Kidd, who's also attached to Bannon, has designed the 3rd course there. So as you can tell, we wanted to go back to Bannon, but we figured we can always go back to Bannon because it's relatively close to where all of us live, but let's knock out Wisconsin and Sand Valley, play a similar style of course that just happens to be in Wisconsin. Now, from my understanding, never playing Sand Valley, there are 2 18-hole courses. There's Sand Valley and Mammoth Dunes, and then there's also the Sandbox, which is a 17-hole par 3 course, which looks amazing. So that kind of covers where we're going to be playing. Now, who's all going? Now, this is just kind of a brief rundown. I'll attach everybody's social media links down below and on the screen. But so first off, we have 2 of my oldest buddies, really, is we have Josh and Caleb, 2 brothers. We grew up in Alaska together. Right now, one of them lives in Wisconsin and one lives in Oregon. They're bringing their Uncle Tom, who we went to Bannon Dunes together with. He's a great guy, so we kind of have some family ties there playing together. Next up, we have my buddy Phil. So Phil is somebody I met at the end of last season, and we hit it off and clicked in terms of golf, and he has a passion for photography and even videography and social media. So we have become friends over the past probably 6-7 months, and I thought he would be a perfect fit for this trip. Next we have Nathan. So Nathan also lives in Oregon, and he works with my buddy Josh, and he runs a company called Thistle Leather Goods where he makes head covers, wallets, scorecard holders, all these things, and I've given a couple of these things away in some drawings. So he's also a golf coach, and he'll be joining us on this trip. This is the first trip that I've gone on with him. He missed the Bandon Dunes trip last year, but he's going to be a great addition to the group. Next is Keith. So Keith is somebody that I have never met in person before. We've only talked through social media. He's one of those people that gave me some advice on Wisconsin golf, and I said there might be an opening for another person if he was interested. Keith, being another golf addict and a lefty, was extremely excited about coming. So we were able to work it out. He's going to be joining us for the entire trip, and I look forward to meeting him and creating some content with him. Last is a guy that I've technically only met once, and that was down in Florida at the PGA show, and his name's Colby, and he goes by quite the chap on social media and YouTube and all these things. He's a fellow content creator, runs a great Instagram, makes YouTube videos, and does stuff with Golfers RX. So another great addition to the trip. He's got a great swing, and check out his stuff as well. So that kind of rounds out the 8-some that is going on this trip. I think it's going to be a good mix of content creators. We have chiropractors, we have massage therapists, we have basically all our bases covered. And I'm going to go over that in another video about things that are necessary to bring on golf trips. So as far as wagers go on this trip, we've kind of talked about it because a lot of us want to have some fun on the trip and not worry so much about kind of a tournament scenario. So what we have kind of talked about loosely is we're going to use our 18 holes at Erin Hills just to get warmed up, enjoy the scenery, enjoy the course, and enjoy the memories there of playing a legendary course. Use the 36 at Lawsonia to kind of switch up the groupings, get to know the people that maybe don't know each other too well yet. And then when we go to Sand Valley for the weekend, we're playing 72 holes there at Sand Valley, plus the 17-hole par 3 course. So we thought about maybe doing a 4-man team modified Stableford kind of format and run it down to the Monday. We're playing 18 holes before we go, kind of being the finals, and we'll see how it works out. It's going to be half fun and half competitive, I think, on this trip, which is a good way to do it. So what are we hoping to take away from this trip at the end of the day? I think all of us go on golf trips to make stronger friendships, hit memorable shots, come away with more golf memories than we know what to do with, and hopefully have a ton of content. I'm going to use a lot of this for a lot of my upcoming videos. This is kind of a kickoff of my golf season here, as well as some of the other guys that are going to be creating content. So I'm really hoping to deliver you guys a really good look into this trip. I want people to look at the videos that we create and want to visit Wisconsin strictly for the golf. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this little tune-in of what's happening here in the next few days as I go on this trip to Wisconsin. Like I said, you've kind of seen where we're going to be playing with Erin Hills, Lawsonia, and Sand Valley. I've kind of given you a rundown of everybody that's going on the trip. Please check them out, give them a follow, a like, all those different things. See what kind of content they're creating as well. And guys, as always, please like, subscribe, comment below. Let me know your thoughts on golf trips. Is there wagers that you guys like to put on the line? Is there places that we should go next? This is just one of the golf trips that I want to go on in the many that I hope to accomplish in my life. And I'm always looking for new suggestions, hidden gems, all those different things. So guys, thanks for tuning in. And as always, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.